Which is probably why he's in the Pac-12 and not in a real conference. We'll get into that in a minute. I've been waiting on this so I can just rip the Pac-12. Hey guys, we're on the map today. This is Bo Williams
and Chad Bullock.
What if I were the one to tell you that the fight's already been won? Well, I think your day's about to get better.
Auburn will beat them senseless. And I'll tell you why Auburn will beat them senseless. The Pac-12 takes pride in the fact that it has more practice restrictions and regulations against practice hours and contact than any conference in America. If you go to their homepage online and look, it literally says on the front page, we take pride in the fact that we basically over-regulate the practice schedule.
Wow.
Oh yeah. So until they start actually making contact at practice and having real practices, and I got some data to back that up, you look at the Pac-12 as a whole. Now, everybody gets fired up about bowl games. Oh, well, so-and-so got beat bad by so-and-so in a bowl game. I don't care. Because bowl game is a totally different season. Yeah. It's a totally different atmosphere. But I noticed trends. Yeah. Example, 2 years ago, the Pac-12 went 1-7. Their only win was Utah going against West Virginia that had a whole slew of players sitting out, including Will Greer. And then you look at them this past year in their bowl game. Okay, now they won 3 or 4 bowl games, but my gosh, if you watch those games, if you watch that Cal-TCU game, that game set football back 200 years. If you watch that Oregon-Michigan State game, you're going, how in God's name? There's a reason Justin Herbert is still at Oregon and did not go in the NFL. He is not the player everybody says he is. There is a reason that guy still at Oregon didn't come out. That game was atrocious. It's horrible. Then you just go look at all the regular season games. Washington plays Auburn, gets beat. UCLA plays Cincinnati at home, gets beat. And it's just a whole list of...
I want to piggyback on that Auburn
Just
game.
a whole list of the Pac-12. They struggle out of conference. Yeah. They look okay against each other in conference because they're all equally bad on defense. But it's a speed conference. You know, they've got some good skill players. And so naturally, man, those receivers catch those tunnel screens and go 80 yards untouched, man. That looks amazing. Yeah. And then you watch them play. I mean, Stanford wasn't even very good this year.
No, they were way down.
They were way down. I forget how they did in their bowl game. I think they got hammered pretty good.
They probably did.
But my point is, then you look at Clay Helton at USC. I could get a coaching staff together right now of college guys. I could put together a coaching staff, and I promise you, it would be better than what USC has. I promise you it would be. There is no way that Southern Cal, the University of Spoiled Children, could have a coaching staff that is that bad. You watch them throughout the course of the year, and you watch the mistakes and the fumbles and the penalties and the just shooting themselves in the foot. That is an absolute lack of focus. That's a lack of coaching, a lack of attention to detail. And, you know, I look for UCLA to jump in that league this year because they'll be much better in year 2 of Chip Kelly than in year 1. Yep. And then on top of that, you just look at the rest of the conference. I mean, my goodness. I mean, Stanford, it seems like they're really pulling back. I mean, you know, you got Washington on the other side. You got maybe Utah in the South, but as long as Clay Helton's at USC, I don't expect Clay Helton there past midseason. That's just my personal opinion. But going back to the Auburn Oregon game, where is that game? Is it in Atlanta?
I think it's at Dallas.
Oh, that could be awful.
But going back to last year, Auburn struggled pretty good. And now let's just say, I know if sands and buts, whatever. If Washington can kick a stinking field goal, they win that game. Yeah. They struggled with Washington.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Now, do you think Oregon's better than Washington?
No, not a chance.
All right, fair enough.
Not a chance.
Okay.
It's not even close. Peterson has got to just be sitting there licking his chops because he's looking at the rest of that conference, going, I've got one of the best recruiting basins in all the nation, and I get to go up against these clowns.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, just the proof's in the pudding. Go look at the guys they're putting in the NFL.
Oh yeah. No, they're good.
I mean that's where
they played Bama tough in the Peach Bowl 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah. I mean that
was not been for that big Bo Scarborough run. That's a totally different
that in the
or was that Henry?
No, that was Scarborough.
Was that Scarborough?
And then the guy from Daphne who picked it off and ran it back to the house on that little screen. Number 7?
Yeah,
I can't think of his name.
Yeah. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan Anderson.
Ryan Anderson. Yeah, I mean, that was a fourth quarter game.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
They're good,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you why they're good, and I'll tell you why Utah's good in that conference. The two teams that I honestly do have respect for in that conference, because they play at the line of scrimmage. They're good at the line of scrimmage. Both of those teams put linemen in the NFL. It's not just a couple of skill players or a defensive back. They are good in the trenches, and that's why they're good, because you look in a league where you can't really make contact all week. You can't touch anybody, and then you go out there against a big physical offensive line with some maulers that's going to block straight ahead.
Well, where are they getting them big linemen from? They're getting those big Hawaiian boys.
Yeah, well, that Pacific Northwest region has always been famous for that. You look at Utah.
Yeah.
They're littered with Samoans. And,
Yeah.
You know, guys, real big athletic guys that can play and move. You know, they're not just big.
Yeah,
so.
agile.
Yeah.
What if I were the one to tell you